What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. My people, what's good, what's good, what's good? This is your boy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. You guys, we haven't spoken since Thursday. I want to say you and I haven't really gotten together since Thursday. Friday, we didn't do a live stream. I was on the road. It was my wife's birthday weekend. So we pretty much had a jam-packed weekend. And she told me, she said, listen, Tone, I don't care what you got to do. I don't care what you got to set up. I don't care who heart you got to break. This weekend, my birthday weekend, belongs to me. And whatever I say goes. If I want to go left, we going left. If we going right, we going right. If I tell you to jump, boy, you better ask how high. And you know what? You know what I told her, y'all? I said, baby, you point, I shoot. And I appreciate y'all for sticking with me. I wanted to make sure I still took care of y'all, though, over the weekend. I posted some videos, some clips, gave you guys some premieres, things of that nature. You guys really showed out and supported those in full effect. And I really do appreciate you guys for just being loyal to the content, loyal to the show, loyal to me. You have a ton of options. You got so many people out there doing amazing things with their shows, with their content, right? So many people doing their own, putting their own spin, putting their own flavor in the sauce when it comes to talking about, sports, football, your Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody got their own swag, their own bop to this thing. And I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and coming to Club Chalk It Up Sports. I appreciate y'all for that. So make sure you guys smash that like button. First and foremost, you guys know what to do. You know what your job is. You know what your role is in this thing, right? As the consumer, exercise your power as a consumer. Smash that like button, especially if you're new. Smash that like button and make sure you are subscribed, right? If you're new to the channel, if this is your first time watching me, I'm humbled. I'm grateful. Welcome to the fold. Welcome to the order. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you are subscribed if you want to get more Eagles talk from your boy, Tone DeShields II. Make sure you guys continue to stay engaged, continue to comment. Make sure you guys just relax and enjoy the vibes. We're coming off of a very, very fun NFL weekend. Your Philadelphia Eagles managed to eke out a 20-16 point victory against the Cleveland Browns at Lincoln Financial Field. The Philadelphia Eagles were coming off of a bye week where they were 2-2 going into week 5, and they were dealing with injuries at the wide receiver position, injuries on the offensive line, coaching malpractice, inconsistency from the quarterback position. The Philadelphia Eagles were going into that bye week with a plethora of things to fix. And after watching that Browns game, do I think they fixed all their issues coming out of that bye week? No, I don't. Not at all. That Browns game didn't necessarily make me look at the Philadelphia Eagles and say, "Oh, you know what? That's the team I know. That's a Super Bowl contender. That's a dominant football team." No. That Browns game did not give me the energy or the vibe that this team is back or that they're capable of being dominant. We have not seen that once this season, and we haven't seen a dominant win since about week 7 of last year. So for me, going into this game, going into this 4-week stretch where you have the Browns, then you have the Giants, and then I believe you have the Bengals and then the Jags, I feel it's important to exercise a certain level of dominance against these inferior teams who are struggling mightily. Unfortunately, the Philadelphia Eagles weren't able to be dominant in this game, but there's always a silver lining. There's always a way to spin it. There's always something to pull out of it, right? You got to find that needle in the haystack. You got to find that thread. You got to find that level of optimism in what you saw yesterday. Yesterday, excuse me. Let's take it from here. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Also, make sure you guys are checking the content out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're available on multiple platforms, so check it out. Regardless of the final score, Philadelphia, regardless of the final score, Jalen Hurts needed this game. Jalen Alexander Hurts needed this game. Again, the score, the box score, 20-16, there's nothing dominant about that. Could the Philadelphia Eagles have put up more points on that final drive? Probably. But why risk? But why take unnecessary risk in the red zone? You don't gash them for a 40+ yard pass with AJ Brown, kneel the ball, and get out of there with the win, right? For me, Jalen Hurts needed this football game. He was efficient and he was clean. He was clean. That's what was important for me, right? Some people go into football games and they have certain things they're looking for. Some of those things they're looking for may be reasonable, sometimes unreasonable, right? But for me, I needed Jalen Hurts to be clean coming out of this game. I wanted Jalen Hurts to end this game with no turnovers, no interceptions, no fumbles lost. Now, granted, there was a fumble, but that wasn't his fault. Cam Jurgens snapped the ball over his damn head, and Jalen Hurts was calm, cool, collected, got rid of the ball. You live to fight another day. I enjoyed that. I appreciated that. But Jalen Hurts on that game, even though he did start off cold, he started off 0 for 5. He started off 0 for 5. But then his next 7 passes, he went 5 for 7 with a touchdown. So Hurts ended up finishing the game going 16 for 25, completing 64% of his passes with an average of 10.6 yards per attempt, 2 passing touchdowns. He was sacked only once, and he finished the game with a 126.1 passer rating, his highest passer rating on the season. So again, you're going to have people try to nitpick at the young man or at the brother. You're going to have people try to nitpick at his performance. But you got to crawl before you can walk. You got to crawl. You got to climb your way out of the depths of hell before you see the sunlight. You feel what I'm saying? And Jalen Hurts' turnover issues had him in the depths of NFL purgatory. He couldn't protect the ball for multiple weeks in a row, dating back to last season. He comes into this game, he finishes it, completing 64% of his passes, no turnovers, 2 passing touchdowns, explosive plays left and right. Now, did I have a problem with some of the route concepts we saw? Absolutely, but we're going to get into that. That's a Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore talk. We're keeping it on Jalen Hurts right now. So let's stay honed in. He was efficient. He was clean. 16 for 25, completed 64% of his passes, averaged 10.6 yards per attempt, 2 passing touchdowns, only 1 sack, a 126.1 passer rating, his highest of the season. Through the first 4 games, Jalen Hurts struggled to be efficient. He struggled to protect the football. It seemed like he was allergic to playing a clean game. And that's why I feel like he needed this game to go this way. He needed this game. You got to read in between the lines. You got to think cerebrally about the game. You can't just look at the final score and say, this team sucks. Were there moments where the offense was stifled or where things got a little cold? Sure. But that Browns defense is a real defense. And they have injuries. That's another thing, too. That Browns defense is a real defense. Now, some people are going to say, well, the Commanders dropped 30 on them. The Cowboys dropped 30 on them. It happens. Different games take on a different complexion, right? And should the Philadelphia Eagles have dominated this game more? Absolutely. I'm not going to argue against that. But I'm trying to get you guys to meet me where I'm trying to get you guys to meet them where they are. And that's the reality. That's the mature take. That's the rational take. The Philadelphia Eagles coming out of that bye were 2-2 with struggles on both sides of the ball. You have to meet the Eagles where they are right now. That's what we have to accept. Because I told you guys, this is going to get to a point in the season where we can't make any more excuses and we got to take it for what it's worth. We got to take it for what it is. We got to accept what we see in the mirror. So again, the mature perspective is, hey, this team is 2-2. The quarterback has been struggling to protect the ball. He was able to finish the game, completing 64% of his passes. They actually brought his attempts down. Again, like I said, he only went 16 for 25. They went through that bye week and they said, you know what? We need to optimize some of these opportunities here. Let's bring the attempts down. Let's try to run more. Let's try to get our running game involved a little bit earlier, which they tried to do. But the Browns, their run defense is good. They have Myles Garrett on the D-line. They got real guys in that front 7. Jeremiah Koromoa. They got real guys in that front 7. I think they got, don't they got Darius Smith too? They got real guys on that defensive side, in that front 7. So Saquon Barkley wasn't really able to get off the way we wanted him to. He had 18 carries, 47 rushing yards. He averaged less than 3 yards a carry. His longest rush of the day was 10 yards. It gets to a point where you can't keep ramming your head into a wall, but they still kept the running game involved. Jalen Hurts had 14 attempts. Now, some of those were broken plays. Some of them were quarterback design runs. Kenny Gainwell came in with 3 attempts. Jahan Dotson had a rush attempt. I thought it was a pass, but it ended up being a rush attempt because I think it went behind the line of scrimmage. It was a backwards pass, almost like a lateral. So that was considered a rush rather than a reception. But the Eagles threw the ball 25 times. They ran the ball 36 times. To put it in perspective, they ran the ball 21 times with their running back. They passed it 25 times with their quarterback. So, like we said last week and the week before that, lean on your running game. Try to simplify the game a little bit. Again, the game wasn't perfect. We could break it down to the studs. It wasn't a perfect game. But It was a game that Jalen Hurts needed. And that's what we got to focus on. We need to lean in and focus on our own food, our own plate. Too often we get caught up with comparing the quarterback to the other quarterback, the quarterback across the pond, the quarterback across the country, in the tri-state, in the division. We need to meet Jalen Hurts and the Eagles where they are right now. And when they begin to show us more dominance, we'll meet them there. We'll meet them there. So, I actually liked Jalen Hurts' performance yesterday. And if you feel differently, that's all good with me. Do what you got to do. Feel how you want to feel. Whatever your motivation is, however you view the game is however you view the game. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm not here to enlighten you. I'm here to give you guys my perspective, and whatever you do with it, you do with it. Pack it up, put it in the basement, put it in the attic, whatever you got to do with it, do it. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not. I'm also not here to just say inflammatory things just to get you excited. That's not this kind of show. Sorry. It's not this kind of show. I'm going to give you mature takes. I'm going to give you rational takes. I'm not going to just say something because it's sexy or it's exciting. Sorry. I'm going to give you guys my perspective, and if you feel differently, you share that. It is what it is. But just know we can tell the mature takes from the immature takes. We can see through it. We can see it. I just want some of y'all to know that. We can see it. But again, you have to meet the Eagles where they are right now. Right now. We're not in week 12 yet. We're not in week 15 or week 9, where we just finished week 6. So Jalen Hurts getting this turnover bug off of him, Jalen Hurts getting this turnover smut off his name is going to take some time, because he has to string together performances so the confidence can continue to build, so the trust can continue to build, so the efficiency can continue to build. I'll say it again. The theme of the show, Jalen Hurts needed this game. I don't care what the scorecard says. I don't care who the opponent was. He needed this game. Let me give y'all some very interesting stats. Let me give you guys some very interesting stats. And trust me, we're going to get into A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. We're going to get into A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Trust me, be patient. We're going to get into that. Because A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, you see why A.J. make $32 million. You see why Devontae make $25 million. Shoot, he could be worth more than that. So we're going to get into A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Be patient. We got plenty of time. Kick your feet up. Relax. Get your drinks. Get your snacks. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some of y'all on your lunch break at work, whatever it is. Maybe some of y'all off today. It's the holiday. Indigenous People Day. You feel what I'm saying? Fuck Columbus. Indigenous People Day. You dig what I'm saying? So maybe some of y'all got off today. You know? Kick your feet up. You know what I mean? Roll yourself your morning stogie. You feel me? Roll yourself your morning stogie. Roll yourself your morning la la land. You feel me? Whatever you got to do to get comfortable, do that. Because we're going to be here for a little while. You dig me? If you know, you know. You know what? Flexing. I'm in Texas, so it's still morning for me. I'm in Texas. It's still morning for me. It's 11:50. It's 12:50 on the East Coast. So technically, I'm not wrong. Technically, I'm living in my time zone. That's all. You thought you had one. This is what happens when you're always trying to be funny. You look silly sometimes. Everything ain't always funny. everything ain't always a LOL. And some of my viewers are in the mountains or Pacific time. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm speaking to the people. I'm speaking to the world. This is an international show, player. Everybody not in the afternoon. So if this is the wake and bake for you, if this is the afternoon joint for you, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do, man. But let me give y'all a pretty cool stat from yesterday's game, according to NFL Next Gen Stats. Check this out. Check this out, y'all. As a matter of fact, it might be better if I just show you. I'm going to read it, but I'm going to show you too. Let me see where we at here. All right. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's see. Like I said, I could read it, but I could show it to you much, much better. And this was a very cool stat to me because it showed how much Jalen Hurts has improved. It showed how much he's improved. Check this out. I don't know if you can read it. It's kind of small. Yeah, that's kind of small. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on that. Yeah, let's check that. So peep this. This is from yesterday's game, according to Next Gen Stats. It says here, Jalen Hurts was blitzed on a season high. A season high. 53.6% of his dropbacks against the Browns and was effective against the 5+ man pass rushers and the Eagles win. It says here, Hurts completed 6 of 12 passes against the blitz, which is 50%. Not a great number, but what it amounted to is what's important. Hurts completed 6 of 12 passes against the blitz for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns, but was also effective against 4 or fewer pass rushers. He went 10 of 13 for 159 yards against 4 or fewer pass rushers. The only sack Jalen Hurts took all game was on a play where the Browns blitzed 7 pass rushers. They couldn't get to him. He had a clean pocket for most of that game. They only got to him when they rushed 7. When they rushed fewer than that, they couldn't touch him. But going 6 of 12 against the blitz for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, I'll take that. I'll take that for sure. I'll take that. I don't know about y'all, but I'll take that. So, yeah, again, did Jalen Hurts have the most miraculous game? No, he didn't. He didn't have some sort of crazy 4-touchdown game. No, he didn't have that. But he was efficient. He got the job done. He responded pretty well to the blitz and didn't turn the ball over. 100 Dada, exactly. He didn't turn the ball over. And I'm going to get to your super chats. You guys know how we do it here. I want to get through my segment. I'm going to address your super chats, and I'm going to get to your comments, and we're going to continue to have fun. I appreciate y'all. Make sure I continue to smash that like button. You guys are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. So again, Jalen Hurts needed this game. And I'm really happy that he got this game under his belt. On top of that, Dallas Goedert went down with a hamstring injury. We don't know the extent of how long he'll be out. Maybe he'll be out a week or 2. Who knows? We saw A.J. Brown out for 4 weeks with a hamstring. He missed 3 games, though, but he was out for 4 weeks if you include the bye. So could Dallas Goedert miss 2 games, 3 games? We don't know how serious it is. Nonetheless, Jalen Hurts did his job yesterday. He came up when it mattered most, had a game-sealing drive. He was fearless still. And yeah, the Jordan Mailata, and yeah, we're going to talk about that too. That looked spooky. But before we get to that, Jalen Hurts was still fearless, took his shots down the field, and when you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in the building, healthy and effective, man, oh man, that's a dangerous proposition for the offense. Denzel Ward did end up playing, and he was decent. He had that really good pass breakup on Devontae Smith, which I thought was a pass interference because he put hands on him well before Devontae even touched the ball. He prevented him from high pointing the football. He even put his hands in his face, and they called it, and they picked the flag up, which was whack to me. But nonetheless, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith were great. I had a little bit of an issue with them spamming A.J. Brown a bit. I had an issue with some of the route concepts. We're going to get into that. But A.J. Brown finished the game with 9 targets, 6 receptions, 116 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown, averaged 19 yards of reception, and his longest catch of the day was the 40-yard dagger to close out the game. Devontae Smith only had 4 targets. He caught 3 of them for 64 yards and a 45-yard receiving touchdown, averaging 21 yards of reception. I would have loved to see Devontae Smith have more targets, but the targets were clearly in short supply because Jalen Hurts only threw the ball 25 times or 24 times. Let me make sure I got that right here. I just read it. 25 times. And he had 16 completions. And A.J. Brown accounted for, let's do some quick math. 9 divided by 16. A.J. Brown accounted for 56% of Jalen Hurts' completions compared to Devontae Smith's 25%. So A.J. Brown was clearly the man, right? But both players got touchdowns. Both players had explosive plays under their belt. I want to even show a little bit of love to Jahan Dotson. They even, S. Blunt, yes, S. Blunt. I love this comment. He says they did what you called for. More of a run game, keep the attempts down, and the defense fresh. Absolutely, S. Blunt. I had to put that on the screen because that's exactly what I've been calling for. But Jahan Dotson, I want to even give him a little love today. Jahan Dotson, he's been very quiet. Hasn't really made the biggest impact. But check this. Even though Jahan Dotson didn't really finish with crazy stats or didn't have a crazy game, Jahan Dotson had 2 key catches that were very important to the overall outcome of the game. Jahan Dotson recorded 2 key touches for 23 total yards. He had 1 rush for 13 yards on a field goal drive in the second quarter. He converted the first down, a big first down, and he helped them secure 3 points on the board. So that was in the second quarter. And he had a catch on the final drive for 10 yards on the game-sealing drive, which allowed them to sustain the drives. So again, Jahan Dotson, he's not the number 1, number 2, number 3. He's not a primary target. Clearly, they're clearly trying to get him the ball, though. You can see that they're trying to mold him into this offense. I would like to see a little bit more creativity with Dotson. They clearly tried that, involving him in the screen game or the bubble screen game, whatever it is. But yeah, I want to give a little love to Jahan Dotson, man. I know Jahan Dotson has been trying to find his way in this organization, trying to find his way in his offense, and the offense has kind of been, up and down, not by any fault of his, but I just want to give him a little love, man. He needed. I just want to give him a little love for catching key passes and doing his job when he was supposed to do his job. On top of that, I want to give a ton of love to Grant Calcaterra. Grant Calcaterra was the unsung hero of yesterday's game, especially after Dallas Goedert went down with his hamstring injury. Grant Calcaterra stepped up big with 4 catches on 4 targets, 67 receiving yards, averaged almost 17 yards of reception. 2 of his 4 receptions came when the Eagles were behind the sticks. There were situations where the Philadelphia Eagles were like 1st and 15 or like 3rd and 14 or whatever it was. They were behind the sticks on 2 of his receptions, deep behind the sticks. And he responded with 2 explosive catches. Got to give credit where credit is due to Grant Calcaterra, man. I see Calcaterra, he can't block that well, but Calcaterra is quick. He's vertical. He can catch the ball. I like Grant Calcaterra when he gets the ball in his hand. He was very reliable for Jalen Hurts yesterday. And you knew it because Jalen Hurts would find him when certain things would break down. So I want to show a lot of love to Grant Calcaterra. Like I said, 2 of his 4 receptions came when the Eagles were behind the sticks, which revitalized their drives that nearly were stalled. If you get behind the sticks, 9 times out of 10, that drive is going to be stalled. But Grant Calcaterra came through, allowed them to keep the drives alive. I appreciate Grant Calcaterra's contributions. Just like Devontae Smith, Grant Calcaterra accounted for 25% of Jalen Hurts' completions. Devontae, same thing. A.J. Brown accounted for over 50%. So that's pretty much who was helping Jalen Hurts in the passing game. It was an A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Grant Calcaterra type of game, right? And the running game really didn't get off the way you wanted it to. But you stayed consistent. You kept at it. You stayed on schedule with it. And I appreciated that tremendously. I appreciated that. They still have their struggles in the first quarter. I have a problem with that. They need to get out of their own way. They need to get their head out of their ass. They need to do a better job at developing their script. Here's what's frustrating about the first quarters. Those are your scripted plays. That's what's the most frustrating about the first quarters. Those are the plays you script. Those are the plays you practice to no end. And y'all can't get any points on the board, even with the plays y'all dialing up, y'all scripting. Which means there's a problem in the preparation. There's a problem in the execution. There's a problem in the sauce. There's a problem between head coach and offensive coordinator. There's a disconnect. Typically, the plays you script is how you get on the board early. But that has not been the case. And it's continuing that way so far. We have a real problem with our head coach. We have a maturity issue with him. And we're going to talk about that as we're going to continue to highlight that as the show develops. But I appreciate y'all. We got over 170 people in this live stream. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button. We got over 170 people in here. We only got 67 likes. I want to get to your comments. I want to get to your super chats. But before we do so, come on, y'all. I need that like button smashed. I need to see 100 likes in the pot. Again, some of y'all may be doing other things, right? You may be working. You may be listening to me with one earbud in and one earbud out. Nobody can see the earbud that's in though. And your hand's not free, so you're trying to look busy at you're trying to look busy at your desk. You're trying to look busy at your station, but in reality, you tuned into the kid. So make sure you smash that like button. Let's get that like button to 100. Let's do that. We almost there. We got 84. That was pretty quick. Let's get to 84. Y'all, appreciate y'all. Over 180 people on the live stream. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. All right. Let's get to your comments here. Let's start with the super chats, and then we're going to get to the other comments as well. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. The platform, the content is available on multiple platforms. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Go check it out. You guys know what we do here. Live streams on YouTube. The shows get uploaded on Apple Podcasts and Spotify within the hour after the show. Let's get to these super chats. Let's start with my man Warv. Warv, my brother. What's going on, man? He says here with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says 300 total yards by Jalen, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Good sight to see. Yeah, basically 300 yards. I think he had a total of, let me make sure I got this right here, 256 plus 33. Let's do some quick math. He had a grand total. He had a grand total of 289 total yards and 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, nearly 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. That's what you need right now. That's what you need. If this is what it takes to keep Jalen Hurts efficient and building that confidence until things settle down a little bit, do what you got to do. He needs to, in my opinion, he needs to string together 3 to 4 performances like this where he doesn't turn the ball over. I'll say it once again, and you guys know the theme of the show. Jalen Hurts needed this game. He needed this game. We have to meet him and the Eagles where they are. Don't worry about what other teams have got going on. We are in week 6. Now is not the time to be looking at the other race lanes. Now is not the time to be looking at the other horses. Now is not the time to be locking eyes with the jockey to your left and the jockey to your right. Now's the time to really lock in with self and focus on self and meet your team where they are so they can improve and we can have relatively reasonable expectations. So, Warv, nearly 300 total yards by Jalen Hurts, 2 passing touchdowns. Both of his touchdowns were explosive plays. He hit Devontae Smith with the shallow crosser, and then hit A.J. Brown for the 20-plus yard bomb. Got to give credit where credit is due. Efficient, clean. He needed this game. Thank you, Warv, for your $4.99 super chat, brother. Chaotic Green with the $5 super. Thank you, brother. He says offense produced, defense produced. Only reason the score was close was a minimum 10-point swing from special teams mess ups. Absolutely. Special teams. Another week where they screwed up. Another week where they've screwed up. Now, granted, you got to give credit. You got to give credit to Myles Garrett. They get paid too. Myles Garrett is the former defensive player of the year, the reigning defensive player of the year. They get paid too. And it wasn't like he beat his man off the edge, right? That Myles Garrett field goal block was damn near improbable. I don't know how he hopped over the center like that. Or the long snapper. I don't know how he did that. So, again, you look at the special teams and you say to yourself, all right, back-to-back weeks and y'all doing silly stuff, but at the same time, man, Myles Garrett, that was pretty fly. You got to give credit where credit is due. Jaime Lopez says, is that legal? Absolutely. It's legal as long as you don't use another player to elevate you off of the ground, right? Like you can't leapfrog. You can't leapfrog over your own player to get to the ball. You have to get over on your own strength. And look, it's a combination of pure athleticism, a combination of a well-timed get off by him. Got to give credit where credit is due to Myles Garrett. That's the reigning defensive player of the year. He is who he is for a reason. See, we got people like Betty Taylor. Like I just said, stop looking at the jockey next to you. That's how you get got. Stop looking at the other man play. That's how you get got. Stop worrying about what the Commanders doing. Worry about them when we play them. Stop worrying about what the Cowboys doing. Worry about them when we play them. This is the problem now. You got too many people worrying about what these other teams doing. Focus on your own play. Focus on what's going on with your team. This is the problem now. This is why we look at this team and we can't judge them correctly. K-Order Green says Betty is a Commanders fan. Well, get the fuck out. It's like, no. It's like, no. Yo, it's so funny. I have about maybe 2 or 3 resident Commanders fans. I have my man James Jones. James Jones is a Commanders fan. Shout out to my man James and my man Infamous 2K. He's a floating Commanders fan. I hope he heard that too. He's a floating Commanders fan. Shout out to my man Infamous 2K. If you know, you know. Also, shout out to my man. Shout out to my man K-Order Green for the super chat. Eagles Realist said, "Get the fuck out." He said he sounded like Ghost on Power. Oh man, I appreciate y'all, man. This is fun. Y'all fun, man. All right, let's get to this other super chat. Shout out my man War. Shout out K-Order Green. Brian Pumper, one of my favorite people, with the $5 super chat. He says, Tone, you falling for the banana in the tailpipe. They were 27th in run defense and 5th in pass defense. I've seen a lot of business decisions. Slay, Elliott, CJ, Elliott. Oh, are you talking about Jake Elliott when they blocked this kick or something? But Slay, CJ, look, man. I don't know if I'll say business decisions about CJ. I seen CJ hitting people yesterday. I saw Keely Ringo putting hands on people too. I don't know. But look, at the end of the day, you got to meet the team where they are. You got to meet the team where they are. That's all. That's all it is. Thank you for the super chat, Brian Pupper. Keep the main thing with the $4.99 super. He says, should the Eagles trade up to get Tyler Warren from Penn State? Cal Stoll, Goddard are all injury prone, and it's dragging us down. You're talking about reloading the tight end position. Got it. I do believe the Philadelphia Eagles, to your point, main thing, I do believe the Philadelphia Eagles do need to reinvest in the tight end position. I do believe that. Dallas Goedert can never stay healthy. And Gurren Kakatera, same thing. And he can't block. Jack Stoll is really a blocker, not really a factor in the passing game. But if you throw him the ball, he'll catch it, but don't expect him to do nothing crazy with it after he gets it. So the Philadelphia Eagles, yes, main thing, I agree. They do need to reload at that tight end position. I do need to learn more about Tyler Warren. I do need to keep up with Tyler Warren in Penn State a little bit more. I'm not familiar with his game, but based off what you're saying, it sounds like the dude is a force. But I'm going to do my due diligence and learn a little bit more about Tyler Warren before I really give a strong opinion about him and what the Eagles should do. But just based off what you're saying, sounds like he's a player that they should consider. Thank you for the super chat, main thing. I really do appreciate you, brother. All right, let me get to some of these other comments. I appreciate y'all too. Rock the Artist says CJ messed up that interception by Mitchell. Bruh, oh my God. Bruh. And I was going to get into that later. And I still am. I am going to get into that later. But bruh, Quinyon wanted to put hands on CJ. Quinyon Mitchell wanted to put hands on CJ. Did y'all see that? Quinyon Mitchell was furious. He was fuming, bruh. He was fuming. That was an easy interception. And CJ was in the freaking way. Oh, I wanted that interception for Q so bad, man. I wanted that for him bad, bro. I was mad, bro. I was sick. I felt his pain. Oh, don't worry. We're going to get into that defense, man. Cooper DeJean, that brother, he could play. Oh, man. Oh. CJ, what's going on, man? What's going on? What's really good? Yo, Quinyon was mad as shit. He couldn't even look at him. He just turned his back. All you saw was his last name and the numbers. He couldn't even look at him. He was mad. And the CJG just on the ground. Oh, man. He gonna get one, though. That's like 4 games in a row where Quinyon Mitchell should have at least 3 picks so far. Let's keep it a buck. Y'all. Quinyon Mitchell should have at least 3 picks. And 1 pick 6, right? He should have at least 3 picks and a touchdown. He should. But they're going to come. Trust me. He's such a polished player. Man. Oh, let me get to your comments again. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I am going to touch on the defense. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. All right, let's see. Caleb throws disc, says, get our wins. We will beat them when we play them. Absolutely. Green Wingman with the $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, so what game do you think will be? So he says, so what game do you think it will be when Q gets its first INT? Hopefully this doesn't become an ongoing joke. Honestly, Wingman, Greeny, I think he's going to get it next week. I think he's going to take a Daniel Jones interception to the house. There's no better time to get it than next week. That's what I think. The Eagles play the Giants in week 7. So I would bet on that. Daniel Jones is good for turning the ball over at least once a game. He's good for that. So, yeah. Shout out to my man Greeny. Man. I appreciate him. All right, let's see here. Oh, yeah, it's been said Myles Garrett was on Mailata ass. Yo, Mailata had an awful game yesterday, man. Mailata was not good yesterday, in my opinion. He wasn't good. Granted, they only sacked Hurts once, but Myles Garrett wasn't good. Myles Garrett was taking Jordan Mailata cookies. But that just goes to show you it's levels to this thing. And Myles Garrett is him. He's him. Is Jordan Mailata a top 10 left tackle in the league? Some people may argue top 5. But there's a difference. There's a difference between Trent Williams and Jordan Mailata. There's a difference between prime Jason Peters and Jordan Mailata. It's a difference. But Mailata is still great at what he does. But Myles Garrett, that's a bad man. That's a real bad man. Denied Prince said Ringo came in and racked the running back. The most violent hit I've seen from an Eagles player in the grip. Bro, that was crazy, right? I don't know. It seemed like the running back didn't even see it coming almost. Ringo came out the cut and popped his ass. And he laid flat on his back. Like, that hit was so crazy. Jonathan Vilma, the color commentator, he had to say, whoa, I need to hear this one. I need to hear this. All you heard was that crack. So, yeah, listen, these young boys want to ball. These young boys, they with it. These young boys with it. I'm telling you that right now. K-Order Green says they treated Myles Garrett like Micah. They are not the same. You have to block that man on run plays. Yeah, yo, great point, Greeny. Or K-Order, my bad. Great point, K-Order. You left Myles Garrett unblocked multiple times. That was strange to me. And that's why I was looking at Jordan Mailata like, what's going on? Now, granted, we don't know what Mailata's responsibility was. But to leave Myles Garrett, of all people, unblocked is a sin. It's a sin. It's truly a sin. Sweet Chin Music. He says, you know what the Eagles' problem is since last season? They have all the talent in the world, but they have no offense or defensive identity. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 150%. And I don't understand why it's so difficult to establish an identity. I believe the problem is they're trying so hard to craft these opponent-specific game plans when in reality, they're not even really establishing who they are, regardless of who they play, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the location. They haven't established who they are, regardless of who's in front of them. And that's called an identity. An identity is when no matter what's going on, you have certain things that will always hold true. That's an identity. Regardless if you win, you lose, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of how the game transpires, you still have a certain philosophy. You still have certain things you want to get across. And right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to hold on to that 2022 identity for dear life. But the reality is they need to craft a new identity. And that's why I think Nick Sirianni is anemic as a head coach. That's why I think Nick Sirianni is flaccid as a head coach. He is incapable of crafting an identity for his team. He's incapable of crafting an identity or reinventing one. He's incapable. He doesn't know what to do. All right, let's see here. See what we got. All right. Oh, man. Where am I? All right. K-Order Green says, bro shot the shit out of those gaps all game, trying to win the game by himself. Yo, facts. Myles Garrett was hitting the gaps like a bullet train. You got to give credit where credit is due. JJ Urban says Ringo and Sidney Brown are the future safeties. Nah, Ringo was going to be the future outside corner. Darius Slay might be out of here after this season. Ringo is an outside corner. Ringo is going to be the starting outside corner next year for sure. For sure. As long as he doesn't get beat up by anybody. And he does what he's supposed to do. DeJean is going to be in the slot. DeJean is way more valuable in the slot. Way more valuable. Speaking of DeJean, let's just get to the defensive side of the ball. Let's get to the defensive side of the ball. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show, especially if you're new. I appreciate the love and support. The content is available on multiple platforms. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. All you got to do is type in Chalk It Up Sports, and you'll find me right there. You'll find me right there. Danielson says, fellas, stop arguing. We all on the same team. Danielson, I would like to believe that. But everybody ain't on the same team. But I feel you, though. I feel you, Daniel. I feel you. Don't get me wrong, brother. I feel you. I feel you. Stop the violence. We need world peace. I feel you, Daniel. I feel you. Hands up, don't shoot. Stop the violence. You feel me? So we got another super chat real quick before I get to the defense. I can't wait to talk about Cooper DeJean. I can't wait. Viney outside with the $4.99. What's going on, Big Von? Big Von. He says, if you remember correctly, Nick was brought in to fix Wentz. He was never highly sought after. He was just connected to Frank Reich. I agree with that 100%. When we hired Nick, it was clearly a Carson Wentz hire or a Frank Reich adjacent hire. It was clear. It was clear. Nick Sirianni was never supposed to coach Jalen Hurts. That was never supposed to be his quarterback. Carson Wentz ducked the smoke. And then Nick Sirianni inherited Jalen Hurts, and the rest is history. So yeah, man, Vonnie, you're right. But based off what we've seen from Nick Sirianni, he can't fix a damn thing. He can't fix nothing. Thank you, Vonnie, for the super chat, brother. All right. Let's get to Kyle Kokorski says, Tone, looks like our rookies are panning out. You are right about that. And that brings me to the defensive side of the ball. We're going to start with the line of scrimmage, and then we're going to work our way backwards, okay? So the Eagles, for the most part, controlled the line of scrimmage. Now, granted, the Browns did have 100 rushing yards on 25 attempts. They averaged exactly 4 yards a carry. And there were drives where their running game was moving the ball downfield when their passing game struggled. But I appreciate the Eagles for not allowing their running game to get out of hand, right? For not allowing the run defense to lose you the game. I do appreciate that. Again, they weren't perfect in run defense at all. They gave up 100 yards exactly on 25 attempts, averaging 4 yards. That's a reliable running game, 4 yards a carry. But the Eagles stood tall when it mattered most. They stood tall on key drives, on key possessions, where the running game became neutralized and they were forced to throw the ball, and they had to settle for field goals and so on and so forth. But I do want to give credit to the defensive line for earning 5 sacks. Their best game in how long? How long? Like in terms of sack totals. We haven't seen a game where the Eagles have 5 sacks, since? What? Somebody help me. When's the last time the Eagles had 5 sacks in a game? 2022? Somebody help me. Maybe last year, I don't know. But I can't remember. Nonetheless, they were able to sack Deshaun Watson five times. I want to give a shout out to everybody that got a sack yesterday. I want to give a shout out to the people who recorded a solo sack first and foremost. I want to give a shout out to Josh Sweat for doing his job, controlling the edge, getting a solo sack on Deshaun Watson. I want to congratulate Nolan Smith for getting a solo sack on Deshaun Watson. I want to congratulate Jalen Carter for getting his solo sack as well. And now I want to congratulate those who got combo sacks. Those are the guys who got half sacks, right? Cooper DeJean got a sack or a half a sack. Bryce Huff got a half a sack. Bryce Huff. We've been looking for Bryce Huff for weeks. Bryce Huff got a sack yesterday. He got a combo sack yesterday. I know, right? Who would have freaking thought? But he did it. And he was okay in run. He wasn't that bad in run defense. He was okay. So, yeah, man. DeJean, Bryce Huff, they got combo sacks. Milton Williams and Thomas Booker got combo sacks as well. Also, I want to give love to Moro Ujomo. He didn't come up in the stat sheet, but Moro Ujomo was moving around. He was wreaking some havoc on that defensive line. I like Moro Ujomo a lot, man. A lot. That brother's going to be reliable for the Eagles. He really is. But and also, how can I forget the OG, triple OG? I want to give a shout out to the Philly legend, Super Bowl champion, Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham played his 200th game yesterday. Brandon Graham played his 200th game as a Philadelphia Eagle. He's a lifer. Shout out to Brandon Graham. And Brandon Graham was lights out yesterday in run defense. Brandon Graham had this one run defense where I think the Browns were like 4th and 1. They tried to do some trickery with the receiver coming over in motion, and he read that shit like a bandit and took and tackled the receiver in the open field. Before the receiver was even able to turn upfield, he got him for a loss. On, was it 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1? I can't remember. Maybe it was 3rd and 1. I can't remember. But it was a 1 yard to go situation, and the Browns could have got it. But they overcomplicated a simple situation, and BG took advantage of it. Man, BG, yo, he still got that dog in him. He still got that dog in him. I love BG. I love that man. I love that man. I'm so grateful I had the opportunity to meet Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham is as advertised. Brandon Graham is the real deal. I also want to give a shout out to Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis was all right. He was all right. Okay? Again, D-line wasn't perfect. They gave up 100 rushing yards exactly. 4 yards a carry. But overall, I think that defensive line, if I had to give them a grade, I'll give them a B+. I'll give that D-line a B+, something like that. I'll do that. I'll give them a B+, something, around there. Because again, you gave up 100 yards on the ground, averaging 4 yards a carry, exactly, on 25 attempts. But you didn't really allow them to really take advantage of you, and you got 5 sacks out of it. And you didn't give up any touchdowns, except for the special teams one. That's not their fault. But B-, okay, whatever. B-, B, whatever. I can get a B. Whatever kind of B you want to give them, you give it to them. B, B-, B+, whatever. Put it in your pocket, take it home. But whatever it is, I think that defensive line, that defense gets like a B for sure. Especially in the D-line specifically, yeah. I give them a B. So I just wanted to show love to those guys, man. I just want to show love, man. You see, the support and the love has to be just as loud as the criticism and the hate and the disrespect. The praise has to be as loud as the criticism. I'm a firm believer in that. All right, let's see here. Moving back. Let's get to the linebackers. Let's get to Nakobe Dean and let's get to Zach Bond. Let's do that, right? Make sure you guys keep smashing that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. We're going to keep this vibe going. If you guys want to donate to the channel, you guys got super chats available to you, super stickers, whatever you want to do. No pressure. So, Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond. I think Zach Bond had a pretty good game. Zach Bond did a great job running sideline to sideline, tackling well for the most part. Nakobe Dean, although he was the worst graded defender for the Eagles, he led them in tackles, but I think he also led them in missed tackles as well. I think Nakobe Dean had what? How many total tackles in the game did he have? Nakobe Dean had 12 total tackles on the game. 7 solo. 7 solo. I mean, he was, again, I understand. I saw him missing tackles. I did. I'm not going to lie. He was missing tackles for sure. He was missing tackles. But he also led the team in tackles with 12. He had 7 solo. As Blunt says, the problem with Dean is he was tackling too far downfield. I agree 100%. All tackles aren't created equal, right? So I feel you on that. I feel you guys on that. Again, I'm not here to praise Nakobe Dean. I'm not here to say he had this amazing game. Not here to say that whatsoever. But he did lead the team in tackles. Zach Bond, he was second in total tackles. He had 8 total, 4 solo. Again, Zach Bond was great. He was great. Some of you guys want to see Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I don't know how likely that is. The only way we see Trotter Jr., in my humble opinion, is if Nakobe Dean gets hurt. And we're not going to pretend like that's a far cry, right? Yeah. Nakobe Dean can definitely stand to improve, without a doubt. Now, let's get to the DBs. I've been looking forward to this. Let's get to the corners, the slot, the safety. Let's get into that. Because the man of the hour is Cooper DeJean. And follow me here, y'all. Follow me. I understand Deshaun Watson has fallen off tremendously. Deshaun Watson has fallen off in a way that feels almost unprecedented. I get that. But you got to give credit to the DBs for doing their job when it mattered most. Deshaun Watson is so bad, it's crazy. But regardless, I appreciate the Eagles for not allowing Deshaun Watson to have his get right game against them. You guys, let's keep it real, right? Let's keep it real, right? The story of our lives is we play teams or quarterbacks that struggle, and then when they play us, they have their best game. That's been the story of our lives for God knows how long. We play a team, they have their best game. Everybody else play them, they ass. Like you feel what I'm saying? So I appreciate them for making Deshaun Watson's life hell. I appreciate them for that. I really, really do. Now, Deshaun Watson, he went 16 for 23, which means he completed 69% of his passes, but he was missing people that were he missed guys that were wide open. He was inaccurate on key drives, on key possessions. The Browns were awful on third down. They were awful on third down. The Browns were 25% on third down compared to the Eagles, 35% on third down. So both teams weren't stellar on third down, but the Eagles were better on third down. And that's where the game was won and lost, in my humble opinion. The Eagles were able to pass the ball downfield. They were able to get explosive plays. Deshaun Watson was not able to capitalize. Right? But again, regardless, I know Deshaun Watson is not the player he used to be. But I'm still going to give credit. I'm still going to give credit to Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. You feel what I'm saying? Cooper DeJean, like Cooper DeJean was everywhere. Cooper DeJean, peep this, y'all. Peep this. On 48 defensive snaps, for Cooper DeJean, he recorded 6 tackles, 3 stops, a half a sack, and 2 quarterback pressures on 4 pass rush snaps. He also allowed 1 reception on 2 targets for a total of 14 yards. He played a grand total of the 90% of the defensive snaps. Cooper DeJean was everywhere. I told you guys when we drafted him, he's gonna be that Swiss Army knife for Vic Fangio. He's gonna be that guy that you can rush the passer with. You can blitz him. You can drop him back in coverage. He can tackle in the run game. Cooper DeJean has the potential to be your most versatile defender if he continues to string together games like this. So, again, on 48 defensive snaps, 6 tackles, 3 stops, a half a sack, 2 quarterback pressures on 4 rush snaps. Only allowed 1 reception on 2 targets for 14 total yards and played 90% of the defensive snaps. I love the way he plays. I love the way DeJean plays. He's fast. He's instinctive. He hits. He tackles well. He knows how to fit the gaps. He knows how to get skinny. I really enjoyed watching Cooper DeJean play. I really enjoyed watching competent play at the nickel spot. There was an instant improvement in the slot spot after demoting Avonte Maddox and elevating Cooper DeJean. The tackling in the slot, the tackling was significantly better. Significantly better. It was night and day. Night and day between Cooper DeJean and Avonte Maddox. It's no question. No question. No question. So Cooper DeJean, job well done. First game starting. He should be proud. All he has to do is keep it up. And here's the thing, you guys. I expect him, me personally at least, I expect him to only get better. Now let's transition to Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell played very well. Now, Quinyon Mitchell, he was on the field all game. He played 100% of the defensive snaps. But for Cooper DeJean, for Quinyon Mitchell, again, he played 100% of the defensive snaps. But I want to focus on his coverage snaps. I want to focus on Quinyon Mitchell's coverage snaps. And by the way, you guys, let me throw this out there too for context. Remember, Deshaun Watson, he threw the ball 23 times, or he had 23 attempts passing the ball, but he got sacked 5 times. So you can argue that he really dropped back 28 times. He had 28 dropbacks. 28 dropbacks, was only able to get off 23 attempts and was sacked 5 times. Cooper DeJean got in there for a half a sack. Now, Quinyon Mitchell, back to him. I don't want to get too far off. Quinyon Mitchell. On 30 coverage snaps. Quinyon Mitchell allowed only 1 reception on 5 targets. They tried to target Quinyon Mitchell 5 times, and he only allowed 1 reception for 10 yards. And he only allowed a 39.6 passer rating allowed. A 39.6 passer rating. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, that may be Quinyon Mitchell's best game. Yeah, it is. Quinyon Mitchell played his best game from a passer rating perspective. Now, granted, he was targeted much more in other games. He was targeted 9 times in the Packers game. He was targeted 4 times in the Falcons and Saints game, respectively. He was targeted 8 times in that Buccaneers game. But in that Browns game, he was targeted 5 times. Only allowed 1 reception for 10 yards. 39.6 passer rating allowed, lowest allowed of the season. And then on top of that, he recorded 3 tackles and 1 stop. So Quinyon Mitchell, so far, has been as advertised. Quinyon Mitchell has been the Philadelphia Eagles' best cornerback by far. And they have tried to expose him. They have tried to target Quinyon Mitchell because he's a rookie. And it's going to continue. It's going to continue. It's par for the course. It's just the way it goes. But they tried to tell me, Terrion Arnold, hey, Danielson, they tried to tell us Terrion Arnold, the Alabama product, is better than Quinyon Mitchell. They tried to tell us that. Where? Quinyon Mitchell was clearly the more polished product. He's clearly the more disciplined corner. Clearly the best corner from his draft class. Some people like Nate Higgins, is it Nate Wiggins or Higgins? I can't remember. That played for the Ravens. He's good too. But Quinyon Mitchell, come on, man. Quinyon Mitchell had a really, really, really good game. Really good game. You know, Wiggins. Thank you, Daniel Sound. Wiggins. I think Wiggins is good too. I think so far, the 2 best corners from this draft class has been Quinyon Mitchell and Nate Wiggins. Do we agree or disagree? I think the best corner so far from this draft class has been Quinyon Mitchell and Nate Wiggins. I also want to shout out Darius Slay. I want to shout out CJGJ. I want to shout out Reed Blankenship. CJGJ, make sure I got this right here. Okay, CJGJ, he was targeted 3 times. He only allowed 2 receptions for 25 yards. He allowed a 92.4 passer rating, his best of the season. Still, you want that to be better, but it's getting better. If you look at CJ Gardner Johnson's passer rating allowed, it's been getting better every week. So he's been progressing every week, I would like to think. And he didn't allow a touchdown. So it's a step in the right direction. He allowed 2 receptions on 3 targets, 25 yards. He had 6 tackles. He recorded 1 stop. CJGJ was okay. Where's Darius Slay here? Darius Slay. Let's go Reed Blankenship. Reed Blankenship, he didn't have his greatest day, but he also didn't give up too much yardage either. Reed Blankenship, 3 tackles, 1 stop. He was targeted twice, only allowed 2 receptions for a total of 17 yards. He allowed a 102.1 passer rating, but as far as pure production, he didn't allow it. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can find Slay here. Slay, they didn't really target Slay that much, but regardless, Slay was all right. Let me see here. All right. So yeah, just want to give credit is due. You got to meet the team where they are. That's the mature perspective. Got to meet the team where they are. All right. Let me make sure I got through all my notes, then we're going to get to your comments. All right. Also, Keely Ringo and Isaiah Rodgers, they came in as well. I think Slay had got hurt at some point. So, yeah, I don't think Slay even finished that game. But nonetheless, everybody did their job. All right, let's get to your comments here before we get out of here. Let's get to your comments. Let's get to the super chats. All right, so Greeny with the $5 super chat. He says Watson is getting $46 million a year. What a mistake of a contract, bro. That is the worst contract in NFL history. NFL history. Now, granted, Deshaun Watson, he's giving his family generational wealth. Generational wealth. I will never, ever be mad at the player for securing the bag. I'm not mad at Deshaun Watson for making the money he's making. I'm not. Because $46 million a year at this point is a steal. But the problem is all the money is guaranteed. That's the problem. It's not the salary. It's the guarantees. That's the real issue. That's the real problem. But I'm not going to be mad at him for getting the money. I'm not mad at him for making the money he's making. I'm not. But I do look at the Browns and I say, you're fucking stupid. I do look at the Browns and say you're stupid. I do say that. I will say that. Make your money. Make that money, man. The league, listen, the league don't love you. The league don't love you. These teams will move on from you in the drop of a hat. Secure the bag, young man. Secure. Well, I think me and Deshaun Watson might be the same age. Who knows? Let me see. Yep, me and Deshaun Watson are the same age. We're the same age. He just turned 29 on September 14th. I'll be turning 30 December 31st. So, yeah, I'm older than him by a year. But anyway, never mad at the player. Never mad at the player for getting his bread. Never mad at it. All right, let's get to this other super chat. Vonnie outside. We outside. Vonnie was good with the $4.99. He says, if you remember correctly. Oh, wait, I read this already. But shit, I'll read it again. I appreciate Vonnie for the super chat. If you remember correctly, Nick was brought up to fix Wentz. He was never highly sought after. He was just connected to Frank Reich. Absolutely, I agree. Thank you, Vonnie. I appreciate you, brother. All right. Let's get to some of these other comments, man. Let's get some of these comments. Find a good one. All right, here we go. Forest Hill. Forest Hill says Jalen played good once he got going. If you ignore the records, we pulled it out. The Browns have a good defense, a terrible offense. Yeah, the Browns do have a good defense. They're battling injuries still. I would have liked the Eagles to dominate them, just as the Cowboys did, just as the Commanders did, right? But here's my problem. Right? The Cowboys dominated the Browns, but the Cowboys can't put up points at all. The Commanders dominated the Browns. And that's the only thing that looks actually legit. This Browns defense has been funny because statistically speaking, the Browns have been one of the better defenses. They've been one of the better defenses. The Browns defense, they did give up 33 points against the Cowboys, but they held the Jags they held the Jags to 13, held the Giants to 15, held the Raiders to 16. They allowed the Commanders to put up 34 points, and then they held the Eagles to 20. Now, one would argue Jags, Giants, Raiders, you better hold them to those points, right? You better. I'm sorry, I take that back. I lied. They held the Jaguars to 13. They held the Giants to 21, the Raiders to 20. So this is par for the course. This is kind of par for the course. But regardless, though, I did expect a more dominant win. But since I didn't get that, I have to process the game differently. I have to look at this Eagles team and say, you know what? Okay, you won the game. You were clean. The quarterback was clean. I think that's more important than beating them by 30. That's more important than beating them by 30, in my opinion. The quarterback needed to be clean. And you just got to meet the quarterback where he is. That's all. Let me see. Let's see. Infamous 2K says we put 34 points on him and our starters on offense didn't play in the fourth, though. We could have scored 50. Congratulations on your early Super Bowl ring. Congratulations on your early season Super Bowl ring. Congratulations. The jerseys are going to go on the rafters. Congratulations. Shout out to my man Infamous. But no, yeah, I like what the Commanders are doing. The Commanders are doing very well in maximizing Jalen Daniels' skill set and creating great opportunities for him. Terry McLaurin looks great. Their defense has been pretty solid as of late. I love what the Commanders are doing. The Commanders are trending in the right direction. It's going to be really exciting when we play them for sure. I love what the Commanders have done with Jalen Daniels. I love it. Let's see. Infamous says, Tone, you playing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? Bro, I got to get that, John. I got to get it. Yo, they said Sparking Zero is the most played fighting game of all time. My brother was telling me, he said Sparking Zero has like over 150 characters or some shit like that. But yeah, I'm gonna get it though. I'm gonna get it for sure. I'm gonna get it. Bro, I grew up playing Dragon Ball Z so much, man. So much, bro. I grew up playing Budokai, Tenkaichi, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm that old. Bro, I was playing Budokai. Yeah. Budokai 1, 2, 3. Tenkaichi 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I even was playing Dragon Ball Z Saga. Who remember that? Let me check y'all gangster. Who remember Dragon Ball Z Sagas? Who remember that? Talk to me, y'all. Who remember Dragon Ball Z Sagas? Forrest Hill says Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct. Ooh, Killer Instinct. Yo, do y'all remember the fighting game Bloody Roar? Please tell me y'all remember the fighting game Bloody Roar. Soul Calibur. Tekken was that shit, obviously. Bloody Roar was that work. Yo, who played Virtua Fighter? Virtua Fighter was lit too. Yo, I grew up playing fighting games like crazy. Virtua Fighter, Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, Tekken. You feel me? I'm 29. I'll be 30 this year. Relax. Give me a break. Fighting games with the work. I love fighting games, man. Oh, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all my people. Def Jam. Forest Hill, Def Jam. Oh, my God. Yo, SmackDown versus Raw. It's the greatest wrestling I've ever played. Now, I haven't played the 2K wrestling. I haven't played like WWE 2K and all that. I haven't played that. But I grew up playing like, you know, Here Comes the Pain and SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. Remember that? Remember SmackDown Shut Your Mouth? Who remember that? Here Comes the Pain. But yeah, SmackDown versus Raw. I love those, man. I love those, man. Yo, in my opinion, The best fight night was Fight Night Round 2 with Bernard Hopkins on the cover. Who remembers that? Kung Fu Chaos. Yo, Blue, bro. Kung Fu Chaos was that work. Kung Fu Chaos was that work, bro. Oh my God. But no, in my opinion, Fight Night Round 2 is the best boxing game I've ever played in my life. In my life. Fight Night Round 2 with Bernard Hopkins on the cover. B-Hop, you know what I'm saying? The legend, the Philly legend. My little brother said Champion, the best fight Night Champion was the best fight to me. Fight Night Champion was cool. Don't get me wrong. Fight Night Champion was cool. It was cool. But bro, you know back in the day when we had Fight Night Round 2, we was going crazy. We would be up until 2, 3 in the morning throwing haymakers. Me and my little brother used to be up mad late playing fighting games. Yo, let's take it back. Naruto Ninja Chronicles. Naruto Class of Ninja. Naruto Ultimate Ninja. Yeah. Naruto Ultimate Ninja. Yeah. Yeah. You feel me? You feel me? Dragon Ball Z sagas, though, that was one of my favorite. Yo, me and my brother loved Dragon Ball Z Saga because you was able to do co-op. And what it did was it was almost like I think Dragon Ball Saga was the first open world Dragon Ball Z game. They did have, I think one of the Budokais, you were able to fly around and collect the Dragon Balls and knock out your objectives. But Dragon Ball Z Saga was like it was almost like an open world, and you would like go through Namek, and you would go through Earth, and Saga was dope. Saga was ahead of its time. Saga was so dope. We had it on Xbox. We had it on PS2. Yeah. Let me see here. I played a lot of Mortal Kombat growing up. My favorite Mortal Kombat game of all time is Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Not too many people talk about Armageddon. Not too many people talk about Armageddon. They love to talk about the new ones and Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 1. They like talking about Mortal Kombat Armageddon was one of the best ones because it gave you so many characters. I'm all over the place, y'all. What am I doing? Yo, I forgot to talk about football. But anyway, though, Jaime Lopez says, which one is it when they kill Liu Kang? That might be, I think that's Mortal Kombat Armageddon. That might be Mortal Kombat Armageddon. If I'm correct. I don't know. Because you can play as zombie Liu Kang. You can. No, Akbar, Dragon Ball Z Saga. Google it. I ain't talking about the Sega. I'm not talking about the Sega Dreamcast. I'm not talking about the Sega Genesis, Akbar. I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z Saga. Google it. Matter of fact, I'll just show it to you. I'll just show it to you. This Joan right here. This bad boy right here. This was the one. This was the one. This was the one. Jaime Lopez says, is Armageddon the one where they run towards the temple? Yes. Yes. Yep. Mortal Kombat Armageddon had one of the best intros I ever seen, where they always run into that temple or that pyramid, and it was mixing. It was getting busy. It was crazy. It was bloodshed. Mortal Kombat Armageddon, one of the best intros I've ever seen. One of the best I've ever seen. Deadly Alliance, yo, Deadly Alliance was lit. Mortal Kombat, yo. As Blunt says, Tone, I feel so excluded in this conversation. I'm in my 40s, my brother. The last time I played video games was mad. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Shaolin Monks. Yo, Shaolin Monks, bro. Oh, my. All right, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. Worf. Yo, hey, Worf. Me and my little brother, we lived for the Warriors. We lived for that game. That's all we played. Yo, the Warriors, dog. Me and my brother had to beat that game like over 100 times. That's how many times we played it. We played the Warriors, like we beat it like over 100 times, bro. Like we played, bro. The Warriors, we had it on PS2. We had it on PSP. We had it on Xbox. We had the Warriors on every console. We played it so much we broke it. We had to buy a new one. Co-op mode was lit. We played the Warriors so much, we had to buy another one. Me and my brother beat that game like over 100 times. We had to. All right, anyway, listen, y'all, we're about to get out of here. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. You guys have been amazing. I didn't mean to talk about video games this long, but your Philadelphia Eagles, man, they were able to get out of that game with a 20-16 victory. Jalen Hurts played a very, very, very clean game. He needed this on the resume for this season, and I'm grateful for it. I really, really am. Let me make sure. My final super chat, my man Greeny, with the $5. She says, "Have you played Guru or Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves? The sequel is dropping in April." No, I never played that. I gotta check that out. I never played that, brother. Thank you, Greeny, for the super chat. All right, I'm about to get out of here, y'all. Thank y'all so much for the support. Thank y'all for sticking with me, man. It means a lot to me. It goes a long way. Your Philadelphia Eagles have improved 3-2. They still have a lot of things to clean up. I'm glad the defense was able to bounce back a little bit. I'm glad the quarterback was able to bounce back a little bit. A.J. Brown is back. Devontae Smith is back. Dallas Goedert, get well soon. Jordan Mailata, get well soon. Nick Sirianni, I'm praying for you, dog. I'm praying for you. And it's straight like that. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. And you guys have been locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show.